bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally.
Many months later.
Wow. The Olympics have gone woke again. Wow. Just wow. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Harrison Butker blasting the Olympics for mocking Christianity. Harrison Butker warned us months ago that society was headed down a dangerous pathway, which has been proven to be correct. The Olympics have gone woke, just like many sports corporations have done in the past decade. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Do you agree with Harrison Butker's response to the Olympics going woke? Of course I agree with what Harrison Butker had to say, and I loved what he tweeted out on Saturday. What he said was absolute truth. He called out the people in the Olympics for mocking Christianity. Obviously, what they did during the opening ceremony was an absolute disgrace. I would have shown you guys the clip of the Olympics ceremony on Friday, but they copyrighted these videos and they have made it incredibly difficult to put them up on YouTube. So I am not going to show you guys the clip, although I'm sure you guys could find the clip somewhere on Twitter. Everybody knows that clip happened and it has gone viral over the internet. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, these videos are now being copyrighted because of YouTube. So I'm just going to describe to you guys what they look like. You had a bunch of drag queens out there and it was incredibly frustrating to watch. Now, I'll be completely honest. I don't really follow the Olympics. I get bored of the Olympics. I don't really like watching the Olympics a whole ton, and that's okay. They don't care about people like me to begin with. Their main target audience is for women and children. So they're not going to care about some young Asian man watching the Olympics. They're going to care about getting women and children watching the screen. Obviously, they're showing it for virtue signaling purposes, because when you show that kind of video to begin the Olympics, they are not doing that for ratings, because that is a good way to get people to turn off the TV. Yes, I know the mainstream media is going to repeat that they had 29 million viewers to start off with the Olympics. And although that number sounds great on the surface, in reality, it's actually not that good, because the Olympics in 2012 had 40.7 million viewers on opening night. Obviously, there has been a decrease in the population watching the Olympics, despite the fact that the population in the US has increased greatly over the past decade. And it is an increase over the last Olympics, the one where it was in Tokyo. That was in 2021, where they only drew 17 million for the opening audience. So obviously they did increase there, but improving from 17 million to 29 million, although it sounds great on the surface, it actually isn't that much of an improvement compared to what it was in the 2012 Olympics. You look at how the Olympics in Paris this year was supposed to be much better compared to the one in Tokyo, mainly because of the fact that COVID isn't around this time, and that last time the US virtue signaled the entire Olympics, which turned a lot of people off. It seemed like heading into the Olympics, the US was not going to go woke, but obviously they just went woke. I don't understand why these companies are continuing to go woke all the time, because the golden saying on this channel is go woke, go broke. Obviously, when you go woke, that is bad for business at any time. And I don't understand these corporations constantly pandering over to the 1% that's consumed of the LGBTQIA++, better known as the alphabet mafia. The Olympics are virtue signaling once again, and I'm glad somebody like Harrison Butker is calling out the bullshit that is residing in the Olympics. Why are they showing these drag queens in front of children? Nowadays, the Olympics, they got to be rated PG-13 or something like that, because they are showing way too much sexual exploitation in the Olympics, and I'm quite frankly offended by that. I'm not offended by a lot of things, but that is one of the rare things I am offended about in general. For a guy like Harrison Butker to call them out, I'm glad that Harrison Butker has used his platform to step up and speak truth against the mainstream media, because you're not going to hear this kind of talk from the mainstream media. The mainstream media celebrates this kind of behavior, but obviously for normal people, they don't celebrate this kind of behavior because it goes against Christian values. beliefs. I don't understand why these corporations keep trying to go against Christianity, considering the fact that 63% of Americans are Christian, while 76% of Europeans are Christian. And obviously, the Olympics are what? An event for Americans and Europeans to watch. Why do they keep going against the 63% in America just so they can appease the 0.1% that resides the LGBTQIA++ community, or whatever the letters are right now? I have a huge issue with that, because that is just not smart business whatsoever. Now, maybe these corporations don't care about the money, even though they should care about the money. Maybe they don't care about the money because they're trying to virtue signal what is going on in the election, and they're trying to brainwash these women and children into voting for Kamala Harris for president, which is a terrible idea to begin with. If you vote Kamala Harris in office, the US is going to turn into a communist kind of country. We got to continue being a democracy, and there is nothing more important in this country than freedom and democracy. Donald Trump is a far better presidential candidate than Kamala Harris, and even if you don't want to focus on politics, let's just focus on the conversation that children are going to be having with their mothers when they see drag queens out there. Because when children and mothers are watching the Olympics and they're seeing this kind of event happening, they're going to ask mom, hey, who's that over there? Why is he or she dressed like that? And what's the mother going to have to answer? Well, the mother's going to have a tough time answering those kind of questions without having to explain sexual activity to these children. I remember as a kid growing up, my parents used to edit sexual behavior around me. They used to not talk about those kind of things, and they kept having to tell me, oh, I'm too young to understand that. That seems to no longer be the case in modern society. It seems like they're teaching these children, oh, you gotta love women that want to be men, and you gotta love men that want to be women, and that we have to embrace reversal roles in the household. And Harrison Butker tried to warn us that back in May, which he got ridiculed by mainstream media. But I thought Harrison Butker spoke truth. And then you look at people like Serena Williams and Venus Williams blasting Harrison Butker at the ESPYs, which has gone completely woke. I didn't appreciate what those two were doing, because I thought that Harrison Butker was the voice of reason. I love what Harrison Butker is doing. He has a lot of influence on society. You look at how Harrison Butker, he has been a hardcore conservative lately, and he has been expressing his Christian values. He's saying, hey, if we can express woke feelings, well, I get to express my Christian feelings, and obviously Harrison Butker has the right to do that. And I'm not saying that these people supporting the woke movement should be canceled. I think they should have the right to say that. I also think that we should have the right to also put them on blast if they are not speaking truth whatsoever, and that both sides have to speak out their own opinion. I'm a big guy on freedom of speech. These guys are trying to prevent the normal people from talking about their Christianity values because it goes against their demonic beliefs. What the people in the Olympics are doing is completely wrong, and I think those ratings are going to go down after the first day, because the opening ceremony of the Olympics is usually the peak ratings. If you open up with that kind of political statement to begin with, that's going to make people not want to watch the Olympics in general. I know if I was an avid fan of the Olympics, I would leave. I would say I'm not coming back. Now, luckily for the Olympics, I don't care about their product in general. I'm not an Olympics guy. I never have been. I probably will never be an Olympics guy. And if they're going to continue going woke, well, I guess they're going to get the same treatment as Bud Light. Remember Bud Light having bad business in the alcohol industry? Yeah, I remember that, because they tried to pander to the LGBTQIA++ community. Obviously, that is just completely wrong in terms of a business perspective. Look, if you want to be one of those kind of people, fine, we're not going to do anything about it. Just don't expect people to treat that as normal behavior. These companies are going woke because they're trying to endorse Kamala Harris for president, and they're trying to cancel Donald Trump out, which I have a huge problem with. And obviously, Harrison Butker using religion in this whole thing, it's absolutely right. I love what Harrison Butker is doing. I hope he continues using his voice to battle the woke community, because these guys need to be told the truth and not continue spewing out woke talk where they are brainwashing the American public. So that is why I absolutely agree with everything Harrison Butker had to say about the Olympics, as the Olympics have gone completely woke once again. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinNasTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNasTran and Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNasTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more of Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.